In a 1968 TV interview, a scientist warns of a deadly fungus that can control human brains and spread rapidly due to climate change.
Yes, a new virus in Madagascar, say, could be in Chicago within a matter of weeks.
The story then moves to 2003. Sarah makes breakfast for her father, Joel, and his brother, Tommy. It is Joel's birthday, and he promises Sarah a cake, but has to work late.
You could work a double.
Literally? Today?
Oh no, I'd be done by 9. By 9, right?
Before leaving for school, Sarah takes a watch and some money from a room. After school, she visits a shop to fix Joel's watch, but notices police and firefighter sirens. The shop closes early, and she heads to a neighbor's house. There, Mrs. Adler starts acting strangely, but Sarah does not notice. That night, she sees fighter planes in the sky. Joel returns home, and Sarah asks about the chaos outside. He reassures her, and she gives him a repaired watch as a birthday gift. Later, Joel leaves to bail Tommy out of jail. Sarah wakes up to sirens, emergency alerts, and their neighbor's scared dog. She checks their house and finds Mrs. Adler infected, eating Kara. Panicked, she runs outside as Joel and Tommy arrive. Joel kills Mrs. Adler and they flee. The city is in chaos with infected attacking people. Joel explains a virus is spreading and they try to escape. As they drive, a plane crashes behind them, destroying their car. Sarah injures her ankle. Separated from Tommy, Joel carries Sarah while an infected chases them. A soldier shoots the infected just in time. A soldier checks Joel and Sarah for infection, then receives orders to shoot. He fires, but Joel dodges with Sarah. As the soldier prepares to fire again, Tommy arrives and kills him. Joel then sees that Sarah has been shot. She dies in his arms, leaving him devastated. The story jumps 20 years later to 2023 in Boston. A young girl collapses near a quarantine zone, is tested for infection, and then euthanized. Military personnel burn bodies, and Joel, now working as a body collector, throws her into the fire. He gets paid and looks for more work. A man warns him about increased security after 2 soldiers were shot. Meanwhile, Robert captures Tess after cheating her on a car battery deal. His men beat her, fearing Joel's revenge. Suddenly, an explosion kills Robert's men. Tess escapes, sees Robert fleeing, and gets arrested as soldiers fire at a Firefly sniper.
They're shooting! They're shooting at us!
On your knees!
Oh no, I'm not
Ellie is held captive by the Fireflies and tested by a member. Frustrated, she tries to escape. Meanwhile, Joel meets an informant and pays him for news about Tommy, who has not sent a message in weeks. Worried, Joel gathers weapons, studies a map, drinks, and falls asleep. That night, Tess arrives injured, explaining Robert sold their battery to someone else. She suggests stealing it back to find Tommy. Marlene, the Firefly's leader, reveals to Ellie that she kept her safe and that Ellie is special.
I am the one who told him not to shoot you, if you recall.
She warns Ellie to keep a secret that could put her life in danger. Meanwhile, Tess learns who bought the battery, and she and Joel track it down. They find Robert dead and discover the battery was faulty. They also find Marlene injured. Ellie attacks Joel, but is quickly subdued. Marlene, knowing Joel, offers him weapons and a car if he escorts Ellie outside the city. He agrees. That night, Joel, Tess, and Ellie sneak out, but are caught by a soldier, Pedro. Joel tries bribing him, but Pedro scans them. When he scans Ellie, she stabs him. Pedro prepares to shoot, triggering Joel's memory of Sarah's death. Enraged, he beats Pedro unconscious. Tess notices Ellie is infected, but Ellie insists she was bitten 3 weeks ago and is still fine. As more soldiers arrive, Tess urges them to run, and they escape into an abandoned infected-filled area. Episode 2. In the past, in Jakarta, Indonesia, scientist Ibu Ratna is taken by officers to examine a fungus sample found in a human body. Shocked, she inspects an infected corpse and finds the fungus growing inside. The infection began 30 hours ago in a flower factory, where a worker attacked others. 14 workers are missing, and the infected are in the hospital. When asked for a cure, Ibu Ratna says there is none, and advises bombing the city to prevent global spread.
Bomb.
She requests to spend her last moments with family. In the present, Ellie wakes up as Joel and Tess watch her. They check her wound, but she is still fine. Tess asks why Marlene spared her, and Ellie insists she won't turn. Joel remains distrustful, fearing she might change. But Tess believes they have no choice but to take her. Ellie reveals the Fireflies believe she could help find a cure. Joel doubts it, but Tess insists they complete the job. They move through the city, seeing bomb craters from past efforts to stop the infection. With the short route too dangerous, they take the long one. While crossing a bridge, Ellie shares that she was bitten in an old mall. She is an orphan with no one to care for her.
I'm an orphan, and no.
At an abandoned hotel, Tess searches for a way forward, while Ellie questions Joel about zombies. He explains some die in months, while others survive for decades. Tess returns and shows them a massive group of zombies lying still, connected by underground fungus. Realizing the danger, they decide to take the short route through a museum. Inside, they find a wounded man, confirming zombies are nearby. Moving quietly, they climb upstairs, but soon hear terrifying sounds. These zombies are blind, but have excellent hearing. One appears, and bullets barely affect it. Another attacks after hearing broken glass. Joel finally kills them. But Tess gets injured, and Ellie suffers a small wound on her old bite. They reach the roof and travel for hours to the Firefly base, only to find it abandoned. Following a blood trail, they discover all the Fireflies are dead, likely from an infection outbreak. Tess desperately searches for a map, while Ellie recalls Marlene mentioning the Fireflies went west. Joel wants to leave, but Tess refuses. Ellie notices Tess acting strangely and realizes she is infected. Tess shows her worsening wound, but Ellie's bite has healed. Tess understands Ellie is truly immune and begs Joel to take her to Bill and Frank. She tells him, "I never asked you for anything, but now I am." Suddenly, a zombie wakes up and Joel shoots it, alerting nearby zombies through the fungus connection. They start charging toward them. Joel sees them coming, and Tess quickly pours oil all over the hall to stop them. She tells Joel and Ellie to leave immediately. They run out just as the zombies enter the hall. One zombie senses Tess and slowly approaches her. Instead of attacking, the fungus in his mouth spreads toward her. Tess struggles with her lighter, and finally manages to light it. She drops it on the oil, causing a huge explosion. Outside, Joel and Ellie watch in sadness as the building burns. Then, they turn and continue moving forward. Episode 3. Joel, grieving Tess's death, stays silent. Frustrated, Ellie insists it was not her fault. Tess and Joel made their own choices. Joel calms slightly and tells Ellie they have a long journey ahead. Ellie asks if he is good at shooting. Joel says he is not perfect. She asks for a gun, but he refuses. At Cumberland Farms, they search for supplies. Ellie finds a broken video game and later discovers a trapped zombie. She curiously cuts its forehead before killing it. Finding no weapons, they move on. They see a crashed airplane, and Ellie, who has never flown, finds it fascinating. She asks how the virus started. Joel explains it, likely mutated, and spread through contaminated food like flour or sugar. On the way, they find remains of people who were not infected. Joel reveals soldiers killed them a week after the outbreak due to lack of space in safe zones.
Told you were going to a QZ, and you were. If there was room.
Ellie is shocked, but Joel explains that dead people cannot turn into infected. In 2003, Federal soldiers evacuate a city, sealing houses. Bill, hiding in his bunker, refuses to leave. Once the city is empty, he gathers supplies, sets traps, and lives alone. When an infected gets caught in his trap, he is pleased his defenses work. 4 years later, Bill has strengthened security. One day, he finds Frank trapped in a pit. Frank, the last survivor of his group, convinces Bill he is not infected. Bill reluctantly helps him, offering food and shelter. Frank plays a piano, but Bill dislikes his singing.
No, thank you. Sorry. Not this song. Not this song.
Frank asks Bill to sing instead. Bill's song reveals his loneliness, and they share a kiss, forming a deep connection. In 2010, Bill and Frank argue. Bill prefers solitude, while Frank wants to fix shops and invite guests. Bill agrees out of love. Soon, they host Joel and Tess for lunch. Bill remains cautious, while Frank bonds with Tess. Joel advises Bill to reinforce security and warns of possible FEDRA attacks.
That fence has got a year on it, tops. Galvanized wire already started to corrode.
In 2013, Frank surprises Bill with strawberries, grown from seeds traded with Joel. They share a happy moment, and Bill admits he was never afraid until Frank arrived. Years later, raiders attack at night. Bill fights them while Frank watches. The traps work, but Bill is shot. Frank rushes him inside, and as Bill fears death, he gives Frank instructions. Frank reassures him and begins treating his wound. In 2023, Frank, now old and in a wheelchair, decides it is his last day. Bill, heartbroken, agrees to make it special. They get married, have dinner, and drink wine. Bill secretly adds sleeping pills to both their glasses, choosing to die with Frank. They hold hands and go to bed one last time. In the present, Joel and Ellie reach Bill's house and find it empty. Joel notices dying flowers.
What the fuck?
Bill? Frank?
Ellie discovers a letter from Bill, dated August 29th, 2023, instructing Joel not to enter their bedroom. Bill left supplies and weapons for Joel, knowing he would be the only one to bypass his traps. Bill admits he never liked Joel, but acknowledges they were similar. He once hated the world, but realized he was wrong after finding someone worth saving, Frank. He leaves all his weapons and supplies so Joel can protect Tess. Joel, deeply saddened, finds a key with the letter. In the garage, he discovers Bill's car and charges its battery. He checks Ellie's wound, which has not worsened, and tells her they need to find his brother in Wyoming, a former Firefly who might help. He sets rules. She must follow his instructions and keep her secret. They gather supplies from Bill's bunker. Ellie secretly takes a gun. Joel helps her into the car, her first time in one, and they drive away, leaving Bill's bedroom window open. Episode 4. Joel and Ellie stop at a gas station, where Joel collects fuel while Ellie practices with the gun she took from Frank's room. She finds a joke book and enjoys reading puns. On the road, she plays an old cassette and jokes about an adult magazine before tossing it out the window. As night falls, they camp in the woods. Joel warns Ellie not to light a fire, fearing dangerous people. After eating, Ellie shares a joke, and Joel already knows the punchline. While Ellie sleeps, Joel stays awake to guard their camp. In the morning, Joel drinks coffee, which Ellie dislikes. He explains that his goal is to find his brother, Tommy. When Ellie asks about him, Joel reveals Tommy always wanted to be a hero, so he joined the army. Later, he convinced Joel to travel with him to Boston, where they met Tess and Marlene. Tommy joined the Fireflies, but eventually left them too. Ellie asks Joel if he believes the world can be saved. He says she has not seen what he has, and that he is doing this for family, including Tess. While driving, they reach a blocked underpass and take another route. Suddenly, an injured man appears, but Joel realizes it is a trap. He tells Ellie to buckle up and speeds through. Attackers ambush them, crashing their truck. Joel fights back and Ellie hides. A young attacker, Brian, jumps Joel. Ellie shoots him to save Joel. Brian begs for his life, but Joel kills him, knowing it is a trick. Meanwhile, Kathleen, the hunter's leader, interrogates a doctor about Henry, blaming him for her brother's death. The doctor denies knowing anything. When Kathleen learns some of her men were killed,
Who did this?
We think it was outsiders.
she assumes Henry is responsible and orders his death before killing the doctor. Joel comforts Ellie, saying she is too young to deal with killing. Ellie reveals it was not her first time. Joel teaches her how to hold a gun properly and lets her keep it for emergencies. They sneak into a tall building to hide. Ellie asks how Joel knew the trap was fake. He admits he has done bad things to survive. She asks if he's killed innocent people, but he does not answer. Kathleen's men discover a collapsed basement with a bloater underneath, but keep it secret. Bloaters are the rarest and most dangerous infected. Joel and Ellie find a room to sleep in. Joel spreads glass near the door as an alarm. Ellie jokes that his bad hearing makes it useless. Before sleeping, Joel asks about her past, but she does not want to talk. Later, Ellie wakes Joel. He opens his eyes to see Henry and Sam pointing guns at them. Episode 5. We see a flashback of a city uprising against Fedra. People kill soldiers and collaborators, including those who supported Fedra. Henry and his deaf-mute brother, Sam, are among the hunted. Kathleen interrogates captured collaborators about Henry's location. When no one talks, she orders their execution. One man reveals Henry was last seen with Dr. Edelstein. Despite this, Kathleen orders all prisoners killed and burns their bodies. She controls Kansas City and wants Henry and Sam found, but Perry suggests waiting until morning. Meanwhile, Henry and Sam hide in a building. Dr. Edelstein takes them to an attic with food for 11 days. Sam, scared, draws on the walls for comfort. On the 10th day, food runs out, and Edelstein never returns. Henry realizes he is likely dead and decides to leave. Before escaping, Henry hears gunshots and sees Joel fighting Kathleen's men. He changes his plan and moves to another building. At night, Henry and Sam sneak in, avoiding glass scattered as an alarm. Henry gives Sam a gun, and they quietly take Joel and Ellie at gunpoint. Henry assures Joel and Ellie they mean no harm, and suggests working together. Joel agrees, and they share food with Sam. As they talk, trust begins to build. Henry takes them to a rooftop and explains that 10 days ago, Kathleen's group killed all the Fedra soldiers. He admits to being a collaborator, which Joel dislikes, but Henry insists that Joel needs him to escape. Ellie and Sam play happily, and Henry says it is the first time he has seen Sam this happy.
They're saying they're going to help us escape.
He explains his plan. They will use a tunnel believed to be full of clickers, but Henry knows Fedra cleared it 3 years ago. Joel agrees, and they head to a mall. Inside, they find a basement with paintings and children's supplies. Joel realizes that after Outbreak Day, some people created a safe underground shelter. Ellie, Joel, Henry, and Sam rest in the basement.
I love these.
Since Sam is mute, he writes to communicate. Joel asks why Henry is being hunted, and Henry admits he killed Kathleen's brother, Michael. Meanwhile, Kathleen visits her childhood home, remembering Michael. Perry informs her they have not found Henry, but she vows revenge. As Joel's group exits the tunnel, a sniper shoots at them. Joel sneaks into the house and kills the shooter, but not before he alerts Kathleen's men. As they arrive, Joel shoots the driver of a truck, causing it to crash and explode. Kathleen demands Henry surrender, but before she can shoot, the ground collapses, releasing a massive horde of clickers. A bloater kills Perry, and Kathleen is later attacked by a clicker. Joel, Ellie, Henry, and Sam escape. That night, Sam reveals to Ellie that he was bitten. She rubs her blood on his wound, believing it will heal him. In the morning, Sam has turned and attacks Ellie. Henry shoots his own brother, then, overcome with grief, takes his own life. Ellie realizes how fragile life is. She and Joel leave for Wyoming, carrying the weight of what they lost. Episode 6. 3 months after leaving Kansas City, Joel and Ellie reach a snowy area where an old couple, Marlon and his wife, live. Joel holds Marlon at gunpoint, demanding directions. Marlon warns them about the River of Death, beyond which lies great danger. They have not heard of the Fireflies. Joel and Ellie leave, but soon, Joel feels chest pain. He brushes it off as the cold.
Just the cold air.
They camp by a river, where Ellie asks what Joel will do if a cure is found. He dreams of a peaceful sheep ranch, while Ellie wants to be an astronaut. The next morning, Ellie wakes up before Joel, who was supposed to keep watch. They continue traveling, crossing a bridge and passing a dam, but find no signs of people. Joel and Ellie are surrounded by armed riders who use a dog to check for infection. The dog clears them, and Joel says he is looking for his brother.
Just looking for my brother.
A woman asks his name, then takes them to a settlement. There, Joel finds Tommy, and they reunite joyfully. Tommy introduces his wife, Maria. They eat, and Ellie notices a girl staring at her. Maria explains the children are not used to strangers. Ellie jokingly says she will teach them. Joel wants to talk privately, but Tommy insists Maria stays. She's family. Maria gives Ellie a tour while Joel and Tommy talk at a bar. Tommy reveals the Fireflies have a base at the University of Eastern Colorado, but refuses to go, saying it is too dangerous. Joel accuses Maria of keeping Tommy from him, but Tommy says she and her people saved him. Then he reveals he is going to be a father. Joel congratulates him and plans to leave in the morning. Outside, Joel's heart hurts again. Watching children play, he briefly imagines seeing his daughter, Sarah, among them. Ellie finds a note on her clothes directing her to Maria's house. There, she sees the names Keivonn and Sarah. Maria explains that Keivonn was her son and Sarah was Joel's daughter. She warns Ellie not to trust people easily and then takes her to a movie screening. Tommy later visits Joel, giving him new boots and apologizing. Joel asks if the university trip is too dangerous. Tommy says it is, but believes Joel can handle it. Joel then confesses Ellie's immunity and their journey so far. He admits he's afraid and feels weak, fearing Ellie will die with him. He asks Tommy to take her instead and to keep it secret. That night, Joel finds Ellie reading a diary. She already knows about his plan. Upset, she says she is not Sarah. Joel, hurt, tells her not to mention Sarah. Ellie insists that everyone she cared about has either died or left, except him. Joel coldly replies, she is right. She is not his daughter, and he is not her father. Tomorrow, they will go their separate ways. That night, Joel remembers celebrating Christmas with Sarah. In the morning, Ellie packs her bags, and Tommy comes to take her. At the stables, they find Joel waiting. Ellie asks if he is saying goodbye, but he says, "No, I came to steal a horse," then lets her choose between him and Tommy. Without hesitation, Ellie chooses Joel.
You deserve a choice. Still think you'd be better off with Tommy.
Let's go.
They say goodbye and leave for Colorado. After 7 days of travel, they reach an empty city. Ellie asks about the fireflies, and Joel guesses they are in the city center. But they only find monkeys. Inside a biomedical building, they see scattered papers and equipment. Hearing noises upstairs, they check, only to find monkeys. The fireflies are gone, but a map points to Salt Lake City. Joel spots 4 men approaching and tells Ellie they must leave.
Out the back.
As they sneak out, a man attacks Joel. He fights back and kills him, but is stabbed with a broken baseball bat. Bleeding heavily, Joel and Ellie escape on horseback, but Joel loses too much blood and collapses. Ellie desperately tries to wake him, but he does not respond. Episode 7. Joel is still alive, and Ellie takes him to an empty house to treat him. Joel tells her to go north to find Tommy, but she hesitates. As she opens the door, she remembers her past. At a Federal school, Ellie runs laps with other girls. Bethany snatches her headphones and mocks her about her missing friend,
She's not here anymore, is she?
making Ellie angry. She punches Bethany and is sent to Captain Kwong, who gives her 2 choices: stay a regular soldier or follow the rules and become an officer. Believing in her potential, Kwong encourages her to lead. Ellie agrees and asks for her Walkman back. That night, while reading comics, someone sneaks into her room. She attacks with a knife, but realizes it is her missing friend, Riley. Riley had been gone for 3 weeks. Ellie is angry she left without telling her. Seeing Riley bruised, Ellie worries. Riley explains, Bethany bullied her, but she handled it. Riley reveals she joined the Fireflies and promises to explain if Ellie sneaks out with her. Ellie refuses at first, but then agrees. Outside, they hide from FEDRA patrols and talk. Riley, once aggressive, now chooses her battles wisely. They find a dead man with alcohol and pills, guessing he overdosed. Suddenly, the floor collapses, and his body falls. On the rooftop, they drink. Riley shares she saw her parents' dead bodies. Ellie asks about her gun, and Riley explains she met Marlene while sneaking out, which led her to join the Fireflies. Jumping across rooftops, they reach a mall. Riley surprises Ellie by turning on the lights. Ellie, amazed, plays on an escalator for the first time. Riley then takes her to a carousel, where Ellie rides joyfully. Riley mentions she will soon turn 17 and get her first Firefly assignment. Riley takes Ellie to a photo booth, where they take pictures, then to an arcade, playing Mortal Kombat 2 excitedly.
Boom! Ow! Use the joystick more. Okay.
Their noise unknowingly wakes a hidden clicker. Ellie, ready to leave, promises to visit Riley tomorrow, but Riley has one last gift, no pun intended, Volume 2. Ellie is thrilled, and they laugh together. Ellie then finds grenades, realizing Riley was stationed there by the Fireflies. Angry, she asks if Riley would attack soldiers. Riley insists she would not. Upset, Ellie storms off. Riley follows, revealing she is leaving for Atlanta QZ that night and wanted to say goodbye. Ellie, still hurt, walks away, but quickly returns, realizing she does not want to lose her best friend again. She hears a scream, but it is Riley's final surprise, a creepy doll. They share heartfelt words, expressing their love and frustration. Riley plays music, and they dance in masks, enjoying their last moments together. Suddenly, the clicker attacks. Riley shoots, but fails to kill it. The clicker knocks her down and lunges at Ellie. Riley saves Ellie, who finally kills the clicker, but both have been bitten. Devastated, they sit together. Riley says they have 2 choices: end it quickly or stay together until the end. Ellie asks for a third option, but there is not one. They cry and embrace.
I'm sorry.
In the present, Ellie chooses not to leave Joel. She searches the house, finds a needle and thread, then stitches his wound. Joel, in pain, grips Ellie's hand. Episode 8. At Silver Lake, Pastor David reads from the Bible while comforting Hannah, whose father, Alec, recently died. She asks to bury him, but David, exchanging looks with James, claims they must wait for spring, hinting at something suspicious. Later, David and James discuss their dwindling food supply. With only a week's worth left, they decide to hunt. Meanwhile, Ellie, desperate for food and medicine for Joel, hunts a deer. She shoots it, but it runs off and collapses. David and James find the deer, but are confronted by Ellie, who
Drop your rifles! Now!
demands they leave. David, introducing himself as a preacher, offers food in exchange. Ellie asks for medicine, so David sends James to retrieve penicillin. While waiting, David tries to gain Ellie's trust, sharing that his group fled Pittsburgh's chaos and settled here. He believes everything happens for a reason. Then, he reveals that one of his men was recently killed by a crazy man, traveling with a girl, confirming he knows about Joel. James returns, secretly aiming at Ellie, but David stops him and orders him to hand over the medicine. Ellie grabs it and rushes back to Joel. James is unhappy about letting her go. Ellie injects Joel with penicillin and stays with him. At Silver Lake, a man hesitates when asked about the meat, calling it venison, but his expression suggests otherwise. The group is secretly eating human flesh, likely out of survival or fear of David. David's men bring the deer, but instead of relief, the group is upset after James reveals Ellie's presence. David confirms this and announces they will track her at sunrise. When Hannah says they should have killed Ellie, David slaps her, insisting he is her true father, and demands respect. He then leads a prayer before they eat. The next day, Ellie notices birds flying away and realizes danger is near. She sees David and his men and rushes back to Joel, giving him a knife and warning him before leading them away. Ellie fires at the men, but James shoots her horse. She falls, gets knocked out, and is about to be killed, but David stops them, taking her alive while the others search for Joel. One man enters Joel's house, unaware that Joel is awake. Joel kills him, then ambushes another man. Later, he tortures two captives, learning Ellie is in Silver Lake before killing them both.
No. I believe him.
No!
Ellie wakes up in a cage and sees a human ear on the floor, realizing David's group are cannibals. David tries to befriend her, claiming he secretly feeds his people human flesh for survival. He sees Ellie as a strong leader like himself and invites her to join him. She refuses. David offers to spare Joel if she cooperates. When he reaches for her, she breaks his finger and tries to grab the keys. He slams her against the cage, threatening to chop her up. Before he leaves, she taunts him. "Tell them Ellie broke your finger." Joel follows a blood trail to a room filled with dead bodies and Ellie's belongings, realizing the group's dark secret. Meanwhile, David and James take Ellie out to kill her. She bites David and claims to be infected, making them hesitate. Taking advantage, she kills James and escapes. Ellie sets the resort on fire and stabs David, but he overpowers her. As he captures her again, she fights back, stabbing him repeatedly in a rage until he is dead. Ellie stumbles outside, shaken and covered in blood. Joel finds her, gently holds her, and comforts her. He calls her baby girl, showing he now sees her as his daughter.
It's okay, baby girl.
They leave together, continuing their journey. Episode 9. A pregnant woman, Anna, flees from infected and takes shelter in a house. An infected breaks in and attacks her as she gives birth. She kills it, but is bitten on the thigh. Fearing for her baby, she quickly cuts the umbilical cord and names the child Ellie. Later, fireflies led by Marlene find Anna. Anna lies, saying she was bitten after cutting the cord, and begs Marlene to take Ellie to safety. Marlene reluctantly agrees, and, though heartbroken, grants Anna's final request by killing her before she turns. In the present, Ellie is distant after the trauma at David's camp. Joel, sensing her pain, tries to comfort her. As they near the Firefly Hospital, Ellie briefly finds joy watching wild giraffes roam freely. Seeing Ellie happy, Joel suggests they abandon the Fireflies and live in Jackson, but Ellie refuses, determined to help create a vaccine. As they walk, Joel opens up about his past, revealing he once tried to end his life after Sarah's death, but survived. Ellie says time heals all wounds, but Joel corrects her. It was Ellie who healed him. They joke around until armed fireflies ambush them. Joel is knocked unconscious by a stun grenade. He wakes in a hospital where Marlene explains that Ellie is being prepped for surgery. The doctors believe extracting infected cells from her brain can create a vaccine, but the procedure will kill her. Joel is horrified and begs for another way, but Marlene insists Ellie is their only hope. Marlene orders her men to remove Joel and kill him if he resists. Refusing to lose Ellie, Joel fights his way through the hospital, killing every firefly in his path. In the operating room, The doctor refuses to let him take Ellie, so Joel shoots him and carries Ellie away. In the parking lot, Marlene confronts him, arguing that Ellie should have had a choice. Joel disagrees and shoots her, ensuring no one comes after Ellie. On the way to Jackson, Ellie wakes up. Joel lies, saying the Fireflies had other immune people, but failed to make a cure. He claims raiders attacked the hospital and that Marlene is dead. As they near Jackson, Ellie, still doubtful, makes Joel swear he is telling the truth. He looks her in the eyes and says, "I swear." Ellie hesitates, then quietly responds, "Okay." The story ends with them continuing their journey. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. Want a recap of Season 2? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like.